Going for an extended drive here to see what kind of a score I can get with the Tesla app here, the safety score beta. I got a 97 the first time I took my car for a spin since that feature came out. As long as I use autopilot, supposedly you don't get dinged for anything. So here I'll do like a lane change. Mainly need to be careful with how quickly you brake and how much space you give between yourself and other cars. So people that are tailgate a lot are gonna get dinged really hard. And basically the more you, as I understand, the more you do it, the worse your score becomes. Certain things are worse than others. Here, activate autopilot again here. Clear. A little crazy there. There we go. Yeah, I just plan on using autopilot as much as possible. Follow distance of 7. So it'll stay within, I think, 5 to 7 car lengths. So far, I anticipate I have 100, score of 100, but we'll see. Thought that was a lane for a second. That's off ramp. Come on. It keeps was thinking that, yeah. Because I have it on Mad Max for lane changes. Hope I don't get dinged for that. I just wanted to give this truck room, but I also want to get over. It's tough. It's so easy to get close to a vehicle. I might have gotten like a split second there. I was too close to that semi, and then it hurts your score. Goal is to use autopilot as much as possible, which definitely in circumstances you can't. There's a truck right there. having it on autopilot is suggesting I change lanes, but there's the traffic, a few people passing here. I'm not gonna cut anyone off. Now we can get over it. Oh, cancel that. Another person behind us wants to pass. So, as it was changing lanes, I used the signal. I used the right signal to interrupt it, which worked out well there. Otherwise, I would have taken the wheel. Move these strips over. I would like to move the other strip over because the reflection, I know, probably isn't the best on camera. But those are just insect and spider strips. I just had a case of the spider last week, actually, that created a bunch of webs in the car, and then could never find it again. And then I went on a trip, and when I got the next morning, I went to my car, and there was again webbed all over my car. So, did some research. There's like a lot of different ways you can deal with pests. Seems like the optimal way was to use white vinegar and water in 2 cups. What I did is I put one in the front cup holder and one in the back, one that pulls down out of the back seats. As I started recording this video, I was walking up to my car. I saw a spider on my rear door. I suspect that was the spider, and when I left my door open for a moment, the vinegar drove it mad and it wanted to leave the car. I'm hopefully it didn't climb back in somewhere. I'm not sure I'm going to need these strips. I might use them for some other purpose. Trying to get out of the way of all this traffic. Oh. Once more here. The adhesive on these strips are absolutely absurd. You have to use vegetable oil. Use a mixture of vegetable oil. Kind of get that, rub that around your hands, and then I used some Dawn, just some regular dish soap, and did that a couple times, and then finally got off my hands. My hands, I think my hands are okay now, but some pretty impressive adhesive. There also was the option of something called a chlorine bomb, which sounds bad, but you can buy them on Amazon. Chlorine bomb can be useful in sanitizing, or at least deodorizing your car. but that seems like a lot. I think you're better off vacuuming and that sort of thing, because there's like, a dirty car can attract bugs and spiders and stuff. I think my issue was our basement, or not our basement, but our garage in the basement flooded. It floods all the time, and I suspect that there's like a lot of insects and spiders and stuff from all that moisture. And you park down there and your car looks like a super awesome home for them. Hoping by the end of this week, because I was 3 days late to get the proper update to try out, well, not even try out, but just to get this button that then tracks your driving to see if you're safe enough for the full self-driving beta. It took me 3 days, and now it's been another, I've had it now for like 2 or 3 days. My hope is to like end up with at least like a 99 by the end of the week. Hoping that if I'm extra careful now, I can get it from the 97, where I'm currently at, to the 99. Don't anticipate being able to get to 100. I don't think that's how this works. But I'm interested to see how that's gonna go. Done a couple little drives and it doesn't raise your score. I think it's related on, it's gotta be related on distance too. People talk about it online, just some people drive like a quarter of a mile each, or plan on driving a quarter of a mile each day and getting hundreds every day, versus someone who drives hundreds of miles and scores a 99. I feel like that person's safer in a lot of ways because it's more realistic. They're actually driving their car. They're not trying to game the system or whatever. And people can do whatever they want. I think it's a little... I want to be careful and try to get it, but I'm gonna drive my car places. I'm not gonna just... I don't want to just synthetically reduce my driving so that I get something like this. I think in turn there may be some sort of minimum score once you have it. Maybe they require at least a 90, 95 or something, and then you get a couple nicks throughout the week, maybe they kick you out of the program. Who knows? Lane change. It's trying to get me to move over right now so that we can follow the route. Yeah, so it's fine. Like, I'm not gonna get dinged hard for ignoring these warnings. These are just suggestions. I need to get over again. It is safe to do so. There we go. I'm trying not to get dinged for trying to just stay in this lane so I can take 51 here. So I use the dials there to kind of bring the car back so that that trailer truck and trailer could get on. If I would have tapped the brake hard enough, I would have gotten a ding for that. So it's a lot of really careful, meticulous driving in order to get a high score. So I don't even know. I'm not sure what I'm at this point here. 51. It is all new to me. I haven't had the full self-driving till the subscription came out, and now that this opportunity's presenting itself, I figured this is a great time to subscribe and see what all the fuss is about. Pretty impressive. Let's see here. It should should turn to the right up here, and it's going to turn off navigate on autopilot here any second. There. It's clear. I should be able to. Okay, there we go. Okay. It's waiting to be let on. Trying to use it as much as possible. Here. Okay. Auto lane change unavailable. And there was a truck coming up pretty fast, so I decided to try to push it into that lane and whatnot. Huge solar install right here. MG&E. There we go. Had to wait for that 55-mile-per-hour sign before autopilot would allow me to bump up the speed. 60 here. There's the Dane County Regional Airport. It thinks there's a traffic. This is not right here. It thinks there's a traffic control right here. I'm gonna accelerate through it because there's not. At least not from this road. There isn't. There is cross traffic needs to stop, but you don't need to stop by any means. I'm hoping the FSD beta has some sort of information like that. I think it makes people feel a lot more comfortable if they kind of preemptively know what the car's thinking. If you come up to an intersection that is yellow or red, or actually like any color, and it's just, at least would read out what it's doing. It's so helpful, like at least with what I'm using right now, navigate on autopilot at least. When you come up to like a red light or a stop sign, it at least tells you how many feet until it's gonna stop. And then you're not surprised when it starts to brake. Vice versa, if you don't see anything and you're coming up to somewhere where you're supposed to stop, you can take over before it's dicey. thinking I'm in the proper lane to take East Wash, so I think as long as I can use autopilot up to the lights, it should be fine. Here we're gonna stop for this light automatically. That's all autopilot there, not me. Plus this vehicle in front of us here. Stop, so the car would have stopped regardless. So because we have a follow car now, it should go through this light as soon as it turns green. Yep. Yep, so it sees this. As soon as this lane appeared, use that to get up to this turn. What I don't want to have happen is I don't want to stop fast for one of these vehicles and then get docked points for driving too close or something, because I think that's what happened to me the first time I used the scoring system, is that I wasn't falling behind a vehicle, but then like if someone cuts you off and you turn off autopilot, I think you'll get a ding because you technically don't have autopilot on for that brief second. So little things like that, I mean, you gotta do what's safe, but unfortunately this safety score doesn't reflect that perfectly. So far so good. I'm super curious what the score is going to be. I'm being extra careful, using autopilot 95% of the time, and be a good example just to show, yeah, like the purpose of this video is to show what kind of driving you can do, and I'm trying to say, it depicts what kind of driving one might do and what kind of score you can expect. Like showing I do nothing crazy or anything like that, and maybe I get a 97 again, or I get 100 and it didn't dock me for anything at all. It's nice that at least the score information is based on, like, you can see each day and what score you got and then your total average, so you're not like left wondering what day or what drive. Yeah, you can see each drive, so you can at least see here. So I don't really have a car in front of me, so it's gonna stop at this light. Well, it was going to, but then now we kind of have a follow car again. Like if a follow car goes, like makes it through the light or runs it, the car will still stop at a red light or yellow light, which is nice. Even though this isn't full self-driving, this is just navigating on autopilot. So I'm actually trying to get to Sylvie. Let's see. Sylvie, Madison, Wisconsin. There we go. And I mean, this the safety score thing, there's really nothing, it's not comprehensive. I mean, it's not docking people or giving people low scores if they run a red light even. I mean, like, some really crazy stuff, like, doesn't impact your score yet. following a little too close to a vehicle, and you get docked percentage of the time that you do that. But with all like the bad press that Tesla gets with people ending up in wrecks or getting hurt or killed, they at least seem to be doing more this time around with like, they're only going to let in like people with a score of 100 and then 99, 98, 97, 96, and maybe that's it. And then not that that's foolproof, because like some of these people are, some people are just driving 0.1 miles. There you go. Gotta follow vehicles, so it made it through. I think it's really ingenious. This is the feature, well, the features I'm using right now, this is what came out well before the full self-driving beta. And what you're seeing here is just like, it's got a nice safety net that like if you hit, if I was the first car here and the light turned green, it wouldn't go automatically. It would require I press the accelerator. So I'm in effect like authorizing the car. So if something was to happen, if someone ran the light or there was a car in the intersection or something like that, they still can make you at fault because it's not fully autonomous. It's still semi-autonomous with some kind of driver input to make it work. And then like if you have the follow car, like right now, it should go through this light. Occasionally I've had it where maybe it's that the follow car goes too fast, and then like all of a sudden like it's the car will like brake at this light, whatever light you're at, but it seems to work pretty well, especially when it's busy like this. And then you can get docked if you have autopilot on and you do like, it gets mad at you because you're not holding the wheel, and if you just keep ignoring it again and again and again, and then it just turns off, that you get docked points for that as well, which is fair. I mean, they're really just pushing that. They want you to use all these features. They want you to use the car, the technology in the cars, and leverage that as much as possible, because that's going to be, the full self-driving beta is just that. Like, you need to use all the features, but also be a really safe driver. So you may think, oh well, why does it matter if I'm a good driver? The car's driving itself. Well, if you're not the best driver and the car's doing some stupid stuff, you might tolerate all of it because you're not the best driver. Whereas if you prove to be a really good driver, you're gonna know when to take over and that sort of thing. And they're getting, potentially and hopefully getting the cream of the crop, hopefully the best drivers using it, and better drivers potentially will train the neural network and computers even better than having a bunch of sloppy drivers drive the vehicle. Or not drive the vehicle, I guess. They want as little bad press as possible, basically. Sweet, almost there, and then see what the score is for this drive. Curious to know like how many people actually score 100 in total, and then also just 100. How many people get 100 and like drive normal commutes that aren't just doing a mile a day, one awesome mile a day to get the 100, versus like something like this where there's so many possibilities here that I could easily get a 90 or 97 or something right now. because this is a lot more driving than someone who just drives a mile to work. There we go. I picked the Sylvie as a destination because also there's all these Tesla superchargers here. It looks like they're still not up and running yet. Quite a few of them are still covered up. I doubt I can drive in there. There's a little chime to let me know it's green. Looks like it doesn't look like it's open per se. I wanted to pull over here and take a look at the score quick here. So here's my average score so far. This is where I saw like 1% hard braking, 20% unsafe following. I'm not really sure where that came from. I'm pretty sure that has to do with turning off autopilot because a car cut me off, and then I'm being docked because I'm not using autopilot and I'm behind someone. See if I can refresh this. Looks like I'm still at 97. And then here, going to the daily trips. Okay, so this trip hasn't registered yet. These 2 trips this morning though, I was able to get 100%. Being extra careful, just driving a few miles. Versus yesterday, let's see. Yesterday this was 100, short drive. And then here, on 7th, this is where I got 1.8% hard braking, 18.2 on follow, or unsafe following. Maybe I need to step out for a minute. Like, maybe that would complete the trip. I might need to come back to this once this updates. There we go. So, this is the drive. What do we score here? So, forward collision warnings, 0% average, or no, just 0.0 average. Hard braking, 0.0, green. Aggressive turning, 0.0. Unsafe following, 0.0. Forced autopilot disengagement, 0. So, total miles driven, 41. So, still looking at a 97, so I gotta keep driving to try to get that 97 down. So I can say that drive was 100. Thank you for watching up to this point. Give me a follow. I'm hoping to be creating some full self-driving beta videos if I'm able to get into the program. It might be a few weeks if I score 99. If I score worse, then I'm probably not gonna get it. We will see. Be really meticulous for the rest of the week. Greatly appreciate that you watched the video up to this point, and consider subscribing, smashing that like button, and have a great day. Thanks again. Peace.